New data has revealed that nearly 70% of young adults are still battling the mental health fallout of COVID-19. Experts are calling it a hidden crisis that's quietly reshaping an entire generation. Joining me now is Dr. Josh McConkey, decorated Air Force Colonel and Pulitzer Prize nominated author of Be the Weight Behind the Spear. Dr. McConkey, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on tonight.
You are calling this mental health crisis a silent tsunami. What makes this generation's situation so urgent right now?
So this generation is really the first generation that's had the iPhone and the iPad at their disposal every second of every day. They've had instant access to information. And they basically have not had to develop the communication skills. And then when you take things like we call them the COVID generation, that portion of Gen Z, is during critical moments in their development, they were shut out of school, shut out of churches, and really isolated from society. And as a result, it's really led to a lot of mental health effects.
And now you say that portion of Gen Z, is there a specific age range that we're talking about, or are we talking about Gen Z as a whole?
Yeah, so Gen Z it's from 1997 to 2012. Really, it's the last half of that Gen Z where the majority of the ones born prior to that halfway point were really through a lot of high school into college, and it's really the second half that really struggles with those communications issues because they're the ones that are most affected by those shutdowns.
So when we talk about the shutdowns and how they really affected those kids, what about it was so damaging in your opinion?
Well, they already had some issues with communication, and they'll sit right next to each other. I have 3 children. They will sit right next to each other and text each other rather than talk. And when you shut them out of school, you shut them out of activities, and then just sitting at home behind television screens, that became their norm. And so they really don't have a lot of skills. They won't look you in the eye. They don't have the ability to communicate as well as prior generations. So it's really impacted their development.
And now I want you to talk a little bit about your book, Be the Weight Behind the Spear. You talk about a lot of tools in that book that we can use to help fix this problem. But talk a little bit about the book, and then we'll get into the strategies that we can pull from it.
Thank you. So Be the Weight Behind the Spear. It's my personal leadership ethos. It's basically my prescription to help this generation develop into the leaders that we need them to be in America. I do want to retire at some point. We have to hand the keys over. And that title, I've worked with special operations in the past, the tip of the spear. We can't all do those things. I don't jump out of helicopters. I don't do those crazy things. But I realize working with these men and women that they've all had someone special in their life, coaches, teachers, volunteers, and family that have given them the amazing confidence to do what they do. I can be that. I can be the weight behind their spear. So I need Americans to engage their community and get involved.
Absolutely. And we hear a lot about, the lessons that people take from the military, and that regular civilians should really be applying that in our everyday life. We would all be better for it. But what are some tools and strategies that you would recommend for someone to take that maybe is a little more military focused, but something that you think would make a big impact in a child's life?
Well, there's some very surprisingly simple things to help build resiliency in your children. So just like in basic training where they'll, let them make mistakes and hopefully they learn from that, you can do that right at home at your dinner table. So just sitting down at night and talking with your kids, ask them about their day. What went well? What didn't go well? And what different decisions could you have made to change the outcome for that day? We've had so many helicopter parents in previous generations, and now we have those lawnmower parents. So the lawnmower parents, they want to mow down every obstacle in their child's path. And as a result, they're not making any mistakes. They're not able to learn. And you're literally decreasing their ability to be resilient in the outside world. So let them make those mistakes, sit around the dinner table, talk about it. That's how they learn.
And unfortunately, if they don't make those little mistakes early on, they could potentially make larger mistakes later on in life that have more damaging effects. And I know that there is hope for Generation Z. What strengths do you see that we should pull from and kind of harp on?
They learn things very quickly. So when you do take that time, they've been able to leverage that technology and that instant access to information and do some great things with it. So we have to find a way to bridge that gap.
Absolutely. Dr. McConkey, where can people go to learn more about you and also to find out more information on Be the Weight Behind the Spear?
They can visit weightbehindthespear.com, WEIGHT, weightbehindthespear.com.
Wonderful, Dr. McConkey. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're back after this.